This is my bacon and onion quiche recipe, or some people refer to it as quiche Lorraine. It depends on what cheese you use for it to be considered a quiche Lorraine, but here we go. I'm going to start off with a 12-ounce package of bacon here. I'm going to use my kitchen shears to cut that up and get that started. You just want to cook your bacon until it's nice and brown. If you don't have kitchen shears, my best suggestion for cutting up bacon is leave it a little bit frozen, like semi-frozen, and you'll be able to chop it up 1, 2, 3, no problems. So here's the bacon all cooked up. I'm going to go ahead and remove it from the pan and drain it on a paper towel. So now I'm going to cook my onions. I have a small yellow onion here that I went ahead and diced up. I'm going to cook that in a little bit of the bacon grease that I reserved. Once you have the onions in the pan, you're going to go ahead and give them a good toss and then season them. I'm going to go ahead and season them with some kosher salt and some black pepper. Remember, you want to season in layers. After I've seasoned those onions, I'm going to go ahead and just cook them until they're translucent and a little brown around the edges. Once those onions are done to my liking, I'm going to go ahead and remove them and place them on the same plate and paper towel that I have my bacon on. You're just going to want to let that cool slightly before you go ahead and pour your egg mixture over it. So I'm using a ready-made pie crust here that I'm going to place in my pie plate. You can definitely make your own pie crust too here if you like. I've done it before in the past with making homemade crust, but sometimes it's just a lot easier for me to have the pie dough on hand already, and I could throw a dinner together super quick during the week. So I'm taking a little shortcut here with a ready-made pie crust. You don't have to blind bake this either because you're going to put all your filling in there and it's all going to bake together. Now that I have the pie crust in the pie plate, I'm going to go ahead and crimp around the edges. You can also use your finger to crimp the edges if you didn't want to use the fork. Sometimes I feel it's just a little bit easier just to use the fork to crimp it down. It makes it look a little cleaner too. I like to use my finger crimps on the pie crust whenever I make a fruit pie, like a apple pie or a blueberry pie. I always feel like that extra crust is the best part with a fruit pie. Now that the bacon and onions have cooled, I'm going to go ahead and place that into the bottom of the pie crust. You're going to want to preheat your oven to 350 at this time. Just keep working on getting all that bacon and onion completely covered and spread out evenly on the bottom of the pie crust. Making this quiche, it's great for breakfast and lunch or dinner. You could also make little mini quiches as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and use some white sharp cheddar cheese here, about a half a cup. I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle that on top of the bacon and the onion. A quiche Lorraine is traditionally made with Swiss cheese, so if you can get some shredded Swiss, definitely use that too. And if you like more cheese, or if you like a different type of cheese, go ahead and use whatever cheese you like. So I have 4 eggs here. Now I'm going to season those with salt and pepper. I'm going to go ahead and get those started before I add in my milk and heavy cream. I'm going to go ahead and add in a half a cup of milk and a half a cup of heavy whipping cream. If you don't have one or the other, you could definitely use a cup of milk or a cup of heavy cream, or even half and half. You're then going to just pour that mixture over top of your filling. You're going to go ahead and place it in that 350 oven and bake for about 40 minutes. You'll know when it's done when you jiggle it and it doesn't move. Let it cool completely and then enjoy.